Welcome to Beating Cancer Daily. Beating stage 4 cancer for 30 years still takes my breath away every time I say it. I'm Saranne, founder of the Comedy Cures Foundation, and I hope you'll join me for just a few minutes daily for the next 365 days so we may laugh, learn, maybe cry a little as we live our best days beating cancer daily together. So if you've ever thought of losing weight, you are losing weight because maybe you're on certain medications that help you lose weight, or maybe you're on certain medications that are making you lose weight. I lost so much weight when I was on chemotherapy. I went below 100 pounds. And what I've learned from our functional medicine expert, Jacqui Bryan, is that when you are losing weight, there are some toxins that you need to deal with. So I thought this would be a great topic for us because right now everybody's talking about GLP-1s and or they're on chemotherapy. And we've done episodes on what happens when you're losing weight from certain medications. This is different. This is really how to live healthy and protect your body and do a lot of yummy things once that weight loss is happening. So I want to bring back to Beating Cancer Daily, my BFF, but our superstar. She's heading towards 150 episodes right now out of the almost 500 episodes of Beating Cancer Daily. And Jacqui Bryan is a certified nutrition specialist, whole health educator, certified health coach, RN, and I always refer to her as our functional medicine expert, Jacqui Bryan.
Thank you, Saranne. Thanks for having me today. I actually appreciate viewing this topic through your lens, sort of the way you described it, with everybody's focusing on GLPs and trying to lose weight. One of the reasons I thought this was an interesting topic to talk about was also when an individual goes into cancer treatment. I'm a 23-year breast cancer survivor. They put me into early menopause. They put me on hormone blockers that cause weight gain. And then they say, oh, by the way, you want to stay as lean as possible, right? So they're putting your body in a physiological state where it's just prime for gaining weight. And then they're telling you that you need to stay lean. And it's a huge challenge. And I know that many of the survivors that I talk to and work with feel frustrated, right? So the body that they went into cancer treatment with is different than the body that they came out of cancer treatment with. Now, if we build on that idea, and then also the fact that GLPs are so popular and people are losing weight, I think this is such an important message for anybody that wants to lose weight, has lost weight, is already maintaining their weight, because losing weight isn't just about fat disappearing into thin air. Our fat cells are not empty storage units. They're holding on to things.
I had the exact opposite experience, Jacqui. I started my protocol and I was thin to begin with. And then that weight just plummeted off me. I went under 100 pounds so fast. I looked like a skeleton. I was like a walking skeleton. And there was nothing I could eat or do that put any weight on me. So the dramatic swing is something that also can happen when you're going through cancer treatment or you are on one of these medications that help you lose weight. And some people are on these medications for like diabetes and they are not even intending to lose weight and the weight comes off. So this is so topical right now. And when you told me that there are things that are going on in the body metabolically that people aren't addressing, I was like, we have to do this.
And that's a really good point, Saren, is mentioning sort of that swing, right? Because I lost 20 pounds during chemotherapy and then gained it back rapidly after I went on to hormone blocking medications. And I'm fortunate because I've never had a weight issue, but it was a challenge to try to maintain the weight that I had most of my life. And so individuals that are in treatment or struggling with weight, whether it be rebound weight or weight that's just coming on because they've had some hormonal shifts, I think it's really important to understand what's actually happening inside the fat cell. Think about it. How often do you think about where the fat goes or what's actually happening? You get on the scale, you're like, yay, it's down a pound if that's what your goal is. Then thinking about, is there something else happening inside the body? And that's what we're going to focus on today.
That's such a great point. I do know when I have been higher in weight and I've wanted to come down, you do look at that scale and celebrate, and you are not thinking about what's going on. And I just remembered I did have that yo yo system that you're talking about. I dropped all that weight, then they put me on lots of steroids and then a different medication. And then I gained a lot of weight. I was all over that scale on my cancer treatment. And we're going back 33 years since my first misdiagnosis and 27 years since I started treatment, and then 24 years since I had no visible disease. So it took me a minute when you were telling your story. So whether you're a patient, a survivor, a caregiver, or you just love the podcast for all the great health tips, we've all pretty much gone through that moment where we're looking at the scale and that there's something we could be doing besides just looking at the scale. Jacqui, is really empowering to me.
Oh, it's so empowering looking at other things that we can do to support our body while we're losing weight. And this actually ties in nicely to our episode that we talked about with muscle mass, the silent strength thief, I think we called it, which was really looking at the struggle it is to maintain muscle mass as you age. Because if you're losing weight and you jump on the scale and you see it's a pound down, some of that weight loss is going to be muscle. Right. And the way that we prevent that is by exercising, resistance training, and making sure we're eating enough protein. Today's a little different because we're talking physiologically what's happening when the fat cells shrink.
I actually have put weights everywhere and I started picking them up. Usually I have weights positioned, so it's a visual trigger for me to pick the weights up. But after that episode, I got so disciplined. It is part of my daily routine. I'm just doing reps everywhere I go through the house. I'm on the toilet. I'm doing reps. Like that's a visual, right? I'm walking down the stairs. I'm doing reps. I'm walking up the stairs. I'm doing reps. And it's really making a difference. I actually showed Jacqui my guns. I've got these little baby muscles starting.
It does make a difference when people are trying to change their body shape, whether it's being building more muscle or losing weight, and hopefully those things can happen simultaneously. When we talk about fat cells, like I mentioned earlier, they are not empty storage units. They're holding on to things. And when those cells shrink, what has been stored inside those fat cells don't just vanish along with them. It has to go somewhere. And so I like to kind of share it this way. If you've lost a meaningful amount of weight and suddenly you start feeling fatigued or foggy or just a little bit off than you expected, even though the scale is moving in the right direction, this might be a part of the reason why you have this sort of toxic dump, right? Because some of these fat cells are holding on to toxins. And nobody warns people about this ahead of time. People don't talk about this. They talk about the benefits of losing weight. They talk about how much healthier you'll be, but they don't talk about this side effect. And it's important. So what we're talking about today is we're unpacking what's actually happening inside your body when those fat cells shrink. And then we're going to talk about what you can do about it with food and lifestyle. And this is not about fear. It's not about being afraid to lose weight. This is about strategies to support your body as you're changing. And this is what the whole podcast is about.
Well, everybody I know that's taking one of these reducing medicines now that's getting so skinny. Now, every time I see them, I'm going to say, you're a toxic dump. You are
Oh.
a toxic dump. You're a toxic dump. You're a toxic dump. What are you doing not to be a toxic dump? No,
Oh
this is,
gosh.
I'm a visual learner. So now I can't get that out of my head. So you've
Oh
got to
my
teach
gosh.
us how to do this so that I can say, you're a toxic dump. And then I can say, Jacqui taught this on the podcast. Do you do this?
I don't know how I can even respond to that, Sarah. That is so funny, but it's unfortunately a little bit true. If we start with kind of the basics, your fat tissue doesn't just store energy for later, it also stores environmental chemicals. These chemicals are called persistent organic pollutants, or POPs for short. I'm sure you can have fun with that, Saranne. The category includes things like pesticides and residues and industrial compounds, the kind of things that we're exposed to just by living in the modern world, eating the food that we eat, breathing the air that we breathe, and using the products that we use, right? So it's stuff that we're exposed to all the time.
Every time I clean the windows or wipe off a table, I'm gonna be holding my nose, just going, don't get in my fat cells that I'm losing, please.
Well, the thing is, while this may sound scary, your body's actually really resourceful about this. And rather than letting these compounds circulate freely, and your body actually tucks it away in fat tissue. It's really clever. It's a pretty amazing system. And think about this as more of a protective strategy. It keeps potentially disruptive compounds, those chemicals, away from the more metabolically active vital organs like your brain and your liver and your heart, right? It's in a strange way, your fat tissue is quietly doing you a favor this whole time, even though you might be mad at your fat tissue. It acts like a storage locker for things that your body didn't have an immediate way to fully process.
Well, this is really cool, but you know me, I hear things and I think funny. So now I see my fat cell and I see this pollutant coming in, going, step aside, Twinkie. I'm coming into this town.
Oh gosh, it's so funny. It is you, I think actually a visual like that is important. And we're seeing more and more issues related to environmental chemicals. We're not diving into all the different kinds of chemicals today, but what's really interesting is when we are actually losing weight, the fat cells shrink. And that's exactly what we want to have happen during fat loss. But those contents that are in the storage locker of the fat cells don't stay put. Those stored chemicals get released, they get moved out of the fat tissue, and they move into the bloodstream. And that goes back to maybe some of the symptoms you're experiencing. Brain fog. Everyone thinks I've lost weight. I'm going to feel so much better, right?
No, everyone thinks that brain fog is coming from the actual chemo drug. And now I'm thinking, okay, I dropped that weight so quickly from the chemo. And now that brain fog could have been a combination of the toxic discharge, could have also been from the fat cell process.
And I love that you said that, Sarah, because I always like to share with individuals when I'm working with them that it's never just one thing, right? It's usually a combination of things. And this process or effect that we're talking about has actually been studied. Researchers have measured this directly with patients. They looked at blood levels of these compounds that can rise anywhere from 47 to 83% during periods of significant weight loss. That's a substantial spike. And it happens because the pace of the release can outrun the pace of clearance if the body isn't supported well. That statement is why we are doing the podcast today.
So I'm envisioning a toxic load to my kidneys and my liver and my bladder. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, you're envisioning it right. And I want to say the statement one more time because, again, that was the catalyst for us to do this podcast, right? When this substantial spike happens, the pace of release of toxins outruns the pace of the clearance if the body isn't well supported. So that well supported statement is what you and I are talking about. This topic isn't to scare you off from losing weight, and it's definitely not a reason to put off your goal if you've been working towards it. It's completely normal. It's a well documented part of the process, this sort of toxic dump, but your body has systems in place specifically to handle it. Your liver and your digestive tract. The goal is to talk about how to actively support those systems so that they respond and behave in a way that helps you feel good. If you think of it this way, your liver is essentially running two jobs during active weight loss, right? It's supporting normal everyday metabolic processes. And at the same time, it's sort of fielding this extra wave of toxic compounds that are being released from those shrinking fat cells. And so if we give it the right nutrients, it's going to make its job much easier.
This is so cool because I love the empowering part. You always get to the place where you do the compelling why, and then we're all hanging on to what can I do? Because you really motivate us. I have a feeling that we're all going to go to EWG, the environmental working group that Jacqui mentions all the time. And we're going to start getting products that are non toxic because now we're aware of this and we want to have so much less toxicity around us while we're cleaning our house. Jacqui, the minute this is over, I'm going to change some of the products in my house. I don't want them in my fat stores.
Well, I think it's important. I love Environmental Working Group. I'm so glad you mentioned that website and that organization. They are the industry watchdogs for chemicals in our environment and chemicals that we might be ingesting in our food. I think what I'm going to share with you is even more simpler than that. I think it's really good news because what you eat can meaningfully support your body in clearing these compounds as they're released. So your liver and your digestive system, as it's doing the heavy lifting, these certain foods are going to give them a genuine boost. So the first category of foods we've talked about before is cruciferous vegetables. Your broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, kale, arugula, bok choy, collard greens, radishes, turnips, that whole family. These vegetables contain sulfur compounds that activate liver enzymes involved in breaking down and clearing toxins.
Ooh, and we have episodes not only on vegetables, but individual cruciferous vegetables, like the most hated vegetable. Jack?
That makes me so sad still, that title.
I love that title. And I love to play that at a cocktail party. I'll say, what do you think the most hated vegetable is? And you know what people say every time? Broccoli. And I'm so sad I love broccoli. Then the second thing they say is what it really is. You have to go listen to the episode if you want to know what it is.
The tease, that's the hook that you got them in. One of the things about cruciferous vegetables is that they actually help your body produce glutathione, which is one of the most important antioxidants that we have. It's involved in nearly every major detoxification pathway in the liver. Why is this exciting? It's exciting because if you're someone that has cancer, has had cancer, loves somebody with cancer, you want these powerful antioxidants in your diet. We talked about the cancer fighting benefits of cruciferous vegetables, and it's really simple, right? So you can aim for 1 to 2 servings a day if possible. A quick prep tip might be lightly steaming rather than boiling them because that's going to preserve the active compounds. And since a lot of them can leach out into the boiling water, that's one of the reasons we want to steam. And if you're someone that struggles to get vegetables in, even something as simple as adding shredded cabbage to a salad or roasting a sheet pan of broccoli alongside dinner can count, right? So it's just finding a way to sneak these in.
Jackie, you see advertised on television all the time. Take this pill, it has 10 vegetables in it. If you're doing one of these vegetable pills, are you going to get the same impact, or would anything be better than not taking one of these vegetable pills?
Well, it depends on the brand and what's actually in it, and then what the quality of the vegetables are that are in there. But I prefer food first. So if we can focus on food first, that's what I'm talking about today. I'm not talking about a pill. That would be a conversation you could have with your provider. If there's a reason that you're not consuming vegetables, some people have digestive issues, some people have allergies. It really depends on your unique situation, but I prefer food first.
I have a relationship with kale. No matter what I do to that kale, it's like it goes to a spa. I massage it, I break it down. It gets more rubs than I get in a week. And I have to tell you, no matter what I do to that kale, it does not agree with me. But all the other ones do. It's just for some reason my body's like, nope, I don't know how to digest this. It's like such a foreign being.
That's actually a great segue into tip number two because kale is rich in fiber. And so high fiber foods is my next focus. But this one's easy to overlook. We've talked about it enough in the podcast, but fiber is honestly one of the most important pieces of this whole puzzle that we're talking about today. And the reason is that your liver processes a toxin, right? It finds the toxin, it processes it. That compound gets sent into the gut to be eliminated. Fiber is what actually binds to it there in the gut and carries it out through the stool. Without enough fiber moving through your system, that toxin can be reabsorbed back into your circulation. And then your liver has to start all over again by processing it. It's like doing the same work twice. And over time, that's a huge strain on your liver. And we don't want to do that to our liver. We want to love our liver.
We have that Love Your Liver episode.
I
We
know.
also have the fiber episode. And you just made me realize something that a lot of times you don't feel like eating because you're nauseated or it's too much energy to go to the kitchen and prepare something. Or some of these medications just take away your appetite. But to think that I need to be eating and that I should be eating fiber and I should be eating these cruciferous vegetables, not because I'm necessarily hungry at that moment, but I should pace this throughout the day with regular meals, even if they're small, because my system needs these support ingredients to do these things like clear out the liver. Wow, this is all starting to make a lot of sense, Jack.
It is. Fiber is probably the most important tip of this whole podcast, right? But what's encouraging is that fiber is a part.
Whoa. If you've been listening to this podcast, Jacqui just put fiber ahead of pumpkin seeds.
Oh,
And you know that we never get through an episode, hardly an episode with Jacqui, where she doesn't mention pumpkin seeds. So, whoa, game on, gauntlet thrown down.
wait, pumpkin seeds have fiber. So,
Oh,
so
no.
essentially they're right in there because fiber is present in plant foods. And so it's really not that complicated, right? We want to bring in more plant-based foods, some of your oats, beans, lentils, chickpeas, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds,
She did it. She did it. She figured out how to put it in there.
oats, beans, lentils, chickpeas, flax seeds, chia seeds, apples, and pears. These are all great sources, and usually they're pretty easy to work with or to work into your meal.
I just heard the Wizard of Oz there. Oh my. You know how they sing that song.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
I literally just heard that when you did that.
Oh, that's so funny. The general target for fiber is anywhere from 25 to 38 grams a day. And if you are in active treatment and you can tolerate it, even higher than that is okay. If you're not close to that number right now, increase it gradually because your digestive system does need time to adjust. It can get a little bloated, a little bit gassy, and that's something that we don't want you to experience any of that discomfort. But if you pair fiber with plenty of water, that's going to make a big difference. Hydration is very important when it comes to bringing in more dietary fiber.
And of course, we have that great hydration episode. So you could just be listening to all the back episodes and catch up with us.
Yes, yeah. I think a lot of these tips you may have heard, some of them sort of different versions of them in other podcasts, but today we're really focused on how do I support my body while I'm losing weight so that those toxins are not going to wreak havoc on my body. And the garlic and onion family vegetables are actually huge, right? These are the allium family, the garlic, onion, leeks, chives, scallions. These are sulfur compounds. And they specifically support what we call phase two detoxification. And that's the step in the liver where toxins get converted into a form your body can actually excrete rather than the form that circulates and causes more irritation in the body. And this one is really easy to build in because you don't need to eat garlic alone. You can just cook it into meals. You can add them, toss them into salads, put them into salad dressings. That's something that can be done just by being a little bit creative with your recipes.
Okay, I'm going to say something a little wackadoodle, and I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just telling you something that I heard. So, someone told me peel an onion, put it in your sock, and go to sleep. And then all the toxins will come out your feet, and the onion will be totally transformed because it's absorbed all the toxins from your feet. I have never done this, but the visual is so funny to me. And then they said, don't cook the onion after you do this because the onion's full of toxins. You have to throw the onion out. So I am not encouraging anybody to do it, but look, I'm laughing, crying right now. The thought that, and then don't get out of bed with the onion under your foot because then you'll fall down. It's so crazy. But you have to remember when they told me to get my affairs in order, I did anything and everything to stay alive. And I am not recommending that you do what I did because it was probably things that the medical world wouldn't consider 100% safe. But I was so desperate that I did almost everything someone told me to do. But this onion thing to this day, it makes me laugh.
So, first of all, I don't have a comment on the onion thing.
I didn't want you to. As a professional medical person, I was like, you don't have to go there, Jacqui. But isn't it funny?
It's so funny, but I'm just so glad you didn't ask me what I thought. Like, because I don't have a thought. I'm sort of like trying to just unhear it.
Just think how sticky those feet would be. The whole thing, the socks, the whole thing just cracks me up. They could have been pulling my leg, right? They could have, but they appeared so serious. I wish I could remember what ancient practice they told me that came from. Like, because I do things from other cultures that are just great wisdom. I wish I could remember. It feels like it could be Italian because they chop a lot of onions, but no, I can't swear by that. So I'm not going to pin it on my Italian friends. But I just love that visual.
I think we need to let the onion sock thing go and move on to beets. We're going to move on to beets. I need to stop. I need to stop. Beets. I love beets. They support methylation, which is a key liver detoxification pathway, and they help increase bile flow. Bile is actually what moves processed toxins through the digestive tract and out of the body. So more bile flow generally means more efficient elimination. Yay. Beets also bring extra fiber to the table. They have anti-inflammatory properties on top of that. And people have strong opinions about beets. I love them. I like them in salads. I like them roasted, steamed. You could shred them into a salad. I actually just purchased a fermented beet, which was absolutely delicious. It was sort of in the kimchi aisle. These are all good options depending upon what you're in the mood for, right? But just a small side of beets a few times a week is enough to make this a regular part of your rotation to support your body.
Before you, Jacqui, I wasn't a big beet eater and I didn't even realize that they come in different colors. The way I
Yes.
associated beets was with like a borscht soup. I just didn't realize that they're golden beets. There's all different color beets, and I've added them into my diet because of you. And I actually crave them. And I'm wondering if I crave them sometimes because I need that assist that you're talking about. My body's telling me to have that assist.
I believe in that, Saranne. I actually believe that your body will start showing you signs and symptoms of nutrients that you may need in your diet. And it's just our job to listen, right? How often are you actually listening to what your body's saying? I was happy to see that green tea was on this list of supporting the body because I love green tea. It's rich in antioxidants and catechins that support liver function and that can keep the detoxification pathways balanced. If you think about your liver doing all this extra work during the period of weight loss, we're giving it support that matters, right? So just to kind of recap these top foods that support your body during weight loss, the cruciferous vegetables, the high fiber foods, the garlic and onion family, beets and green tea. And you don't have to have them all at once. It could look something like this, like your lunch could be built around a base of the greens, maybe some roasted broccoli and beets. You could have a scoop of lentils or chickpeas, a little bit of garlic and olive oil dressing, add a cup of green tea in the morning, and you've covered almost everything we've talked about because all of these have fiber in them.
And it also falls in line with your Eat the Rainbow directive, which I love so much. I carry that with me every day and just check myself to see if I'm doing 9 to 13 servings of different colors. But this actually can go along with that because the things you're describing are very colorful.
It is. It's so important. We touched upon hydration too. Your kidneys rely on water every single day to filter and flush waste out of your system. And that process really won't run well if you're dehydrated. And especially if you're increasing dietary fiber, we really need to make sure we're hydrating, especially during those active weight loss periods, right? Because that's going to help flush everything out of your system.
I know that people have different requirements, and there are some people that can't hydrate extensively, but I have a bottle with me all the time of water or a pitcher. I fill a glass and make sure that I'm having 8 ounces every hour from before I even get out of bed. I get the engines running with some water before I even stand up. So I hope that you are hydrating. It definitely doesn't mean sugary drinks, doesn't mean 8 ounces of coffee every hour. We have the hydration episode, and Jacqui's really talking about this good water. I hope that you have started really hydrating.
Yeah, it's so important. In addition to eating the rainbow, staying hydrated, I need you moving your bowels every day. And that means pooping every day. And this kind of connects right back to what we said about fiber. Constipation, meaning you're not moving your bowels every day, gives toxins more time to sit in the gut and get reabsorbed. So having fiber, hydration, and movement or activity regularly will definitely help keep constipation at bay. And I really think paying attention to your exposure to plastics and parabens and phthalates and other chemicals. You don't have to overhaul everything in your life at once. You can use the Environmental Working Group as an organization that can help you with your decision process on your personal care products. But it's really helpful to just start looking at the things you're putting in your body and on your body. A good place to start is choosing organic fruits and vegetables that are on that dirty dozen list with the Environmental Working Group, because those are the ones that have the highest pesticide residues. And it's good to start learning about these things, right? Because you can teach your family, you can teach people that you love, anybody that you're supporting, because it's important information to have.
And Jacqui, you did that episode where you taught us how to clean our fruits and vegetables so that they do have less residue on them.
Yeah, we had that episode for a reason because there's a lot of confusion about the ways we should clean our fruits, the way we should clean our vegetables, and making sure that we're bringing the best quality food into our body. If you think about it, you make all this effort to eat healthy, but if it's heavily sprayed with pesticides, you potentially could be hurting yourself.
I loved that you gave a cheer to pooping. And when you said about excreting, you were like giving a little cheer about it. And I never knew that there were people that didn't poop at least once a day or several times a day. And when I found that out, I was so shocked. But again, I think it's because I drink this regular cadence of water and I do have fiber.
Yeah, it is. It's such an important part of not only feeling good, but when we're losing weight, and especially we want to be able to eliminate those toxins, right? So if you think, again, just to kind of recap and bring it all together, when we're losing weight, the fat cells release stored chemicals back into your bloodstream. It's normal. It's a well-documented process. Your body already has all the tools it needs to handle it, your liver and your digestive system. But what you can do to support both of those systems is eat the cruciferous vegetables and the allium family, the garlic, the onions, to support liver detoxification. Fiber and beets are going to help usher those processed toxins out of the body. Green tea is going to support overall liver function and hydration, and regular bowel movements are going to be really helpful for balancing the body and keeping you healthy as you're trying to strive for these goals.
I'm going to give one more tip, and that's laughing because I see it all the time in our Comedy Cures programs. That when I encourage people to drink water during our programs, and I get everyone laughing, and I'm talking about over 100 times. If you're in a Comedy Cures show, we laugh for several hours, unless it's a short feature in a program. But with everyone laughing and drinking water, there's always an exodus to the bathroom. And that's for number one and number two. People report it all the time. I was so constipated and I came to your program and now my bowels are moving and I pee more. And it's this water laughter combination on top of everything Jacqui said. I'm just telling you, it really helps.
That should be a testimonial on your website.
It does. I'm telling you.
Saranne makes me pee and poop more.
Well, I think you're included, Saranne and Jacqui, because you just gave them a whole nother way to do it. So I listen
Oh.
to Beating Cancer Daily and I pee and poop on a regular schedule.
It's so funny.
Thank you so much, Jacqui. This was so full of great tips and strategies and a topic that I never thought of. And I'm so excited to know this. I think it's going to help so many people. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Saranne. Have a great day.
You can find out how we can help you more. If you want to learn about the amazing Jacqui Bryan, go to jacquibryan.com. If you can't find her website, then just come back to us at Comedy Cures and we'll send you her signature. We want to know, is this helping you? Are you noticing a change? You can write to us at comedycures.org or you can go to the podcast section and record a message to us and I'll share it with Jacqui. Have a blessed day and I'll see you tomorrow. If you loved today's episode, then tell the world. Why? Because Beating Cancer Daily is a listener and donor supported experience. So the more people you tell and the more people that join us, the more robust and interesting programs our nonprofit, the Comedy Cures Foundation, can bring to you throughout the year. So if you have some extra change, I'd love you to go to comedycures.org and make a donation today of whatever level is comfortable for you. And it will be tax deductible to the extent allowed by law because Comedy Cures is a nonprofit 501c3 organization founded from my chemo chair, April 1999, and we've been going strong ever since. So please consider making a donation today and help our community and this podcast thrive. Guess what time it is? It's time for me to read the disclaimer. Beating Cancer Daily and the membership circle are not in lieu of medical advice or treatment. They are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your healthcare team to review your best strategy. Thanks for listening. See you guys tomorrow.